Back to the middle ground, a fun place for moderate political analysis. I'm Elizabeth, your host. I wanted to do more of a topic that's just a little bit for fun today. I know we're in a political climate in the US where we have a lot of people searching for a home, where they see these two extremes and don't identify with the extreme language that you're on either side. And some of the, this is a term that I began using back in 2016, working with the Hillary Clinton campaign to try to explain this divide and the rhetoric behind it as cognitive dissonance. When you hear these extreme rhetoric that is just so entrenched and people just recite the same phrases over and over again and don't even know what they mean anymore. I know we've all had that happen, right? So today's topic came about by talking to somebody who coming from the liberal side, really trying to help people find a moderate way forward where they're allowed to ask questions. And he had never known anything about Eric Metaxas until Eric Metaxas punched somebody at the Republican convention. So since Eric Metaxas decided to enter kind of this political sphere debate, I thought I would just for fun talk about Eric Metaxas today. Not really relevant to any of the current political debate, but a character nonetheless. So I do not know Eric Metaxas personally. However, I had a lot of older mentors who were Yale alumni who knew Eric Metaxas at Yale as a student. And they all had some kind of study in theology, political, religious beliefs that they held as high priorities for themselves. So they said, yeah, they knew Eric as a Catholic at Yale as a student, but he's very creative. That's a nice way to put it. And that has shown in his career. He's produced a lot of creative material that families across the country have enjoyed. Did you know that he was part of the VeggieTales creative team? That's Eric Metaxas. He has published some children's books in the past that I used to give out as gifts to friends when their children were born. I have many friends who have gone to Chicago and worked on VeggieTales, and there was a Penguin series as well. So they were part of the creative team that Eric Metaxas was behind or part of as also. So I, like Eric, have studied Dietrich Bonhoeffer's writing. Dietrich Bonhoeffer has made a big impression and influence on my view of history. And Eric Metaxas wrote an autobiography of him. However, living in Germany, while Germans were watching religious leaders lying about Donald Trump's religious beliefs just for a big power move, Germans had a very clear view of their own history and what was going on. And so knowing German church and religious history, it really was a huge contrast between somebody like Dietrich Bonhoeffer, who left Germany when a fascist government came into power, and then had such strong convictions about it, came back and risked his own life and died at the hand of that fascist government. So what a contrast that Eric Metaxas wrote this autobiography of Dietrich Bonhoeffer and then was kind of part of these religious leaders welcoming this reign of power by this demigod who was supposedly a Christian, magically. So that's the background. I'm sure everybody knows that by the time the last couple of years, Eric Metaxas got to the Republican convention and had a meltdown and punched somebody. By that point, I had to stop following him on Facebook because the level of the degree of lunacy in his rants that he would post were just unhinged. I think, and it's sad. I think this is a theme that I see in some of this movement of people getting swept up in it. As here's an extremely creative man who has contributed um, so much creative outlets that children have enjoyed. I really don't know what he has to say about Dietrich Bonhoeffer now in contrast to what's been happening, but it's sad to see kind of his mental health deteriorate as he has struggled to wrestle with what he claims and what he tells everybody is that Donald Trump is protecting their religious beliefs, but he is stretched so thin to be able to connect those dots logically. You can see the strain it's placing on him mentally. To have such a brilliant, creative mind placed in this vice of lies that are incongruous, and having to feel so defensive and protected of something he thinks he believes, but goes so contrary to his makeup, and that's been really tragic to watch. So this is just a fun, quick overview, since some people didn't know where Eric Metaxas came from before appearing at the Republican Convention with the meltdown and punching people. That's your brief introduction to Eric Metaxas. Have a great day.